Retreat Conference 1, Christ the Friend. A warm welcome to all of you for this retreat, Gazing on the Face of Christ. I've been involved in giving retreats since I was ordained a Passionist priest more than 28 years ago. And time and again, I've witnessed the marvelous ways in which God works in people's lives during the sacred time of retreat. I've experienced that in my own retreats as well. So retreats can be very powerful moments, and I always consider it a real privilege to lead other people during the time of retreat. So I thank you for taking part in this retreat, and I sure hope that it will be a time of grace and spiritual growth for you. The overall theme for our retreat is Gazing on the Face of Christ. It's in many ways a back to basics or a meat and potatoes kind of retreat theme. There's going to be nothing too fancy or esoteric about my retreat conferences. But I've chosen this theme because I think it takes us right to the very heart of Christian faith and discipleship. It moves us into closer touch with the person of Jesus, His presence, His activity in our lives. During this retreat, I'll constantly urge you to spend time with Christ, to spend time with the Lord. I'll invite you into a stance of contemplation of the person and of the grace of Christ in your life. You know, that word contemplation may sound frightening or off-putting at first. We may associate contemplation with monks and nuns enclosed in their cloisters, not with people immersed in the busyness and demands of life. But contemplation is our gift and task as well, yours and mine. Years ago, I read a very pithy but very insightful definition of contemplation written by a Carmelite named William McNamara. McNamara described contemplation as a long, loving look at the real. A long, loving look at the real with a capital R. So in our time of retreat together, I'm going to invite you to take a long, loving look at the reality of Christ. That's all I hope for in offering these presentations, but I hope it'll be more than enough. In these conferences, I'm going to reflect with you about the mystery of Jesus Christ under different titles. What I'll be doing is considering some of the various facets or dimensions of the rich mystery of Christ. My job is to help you move more deeply into prayer, into your own conversation with the Lord. While I hope that these conferences will be helpful for you, it's your own commitment to prayer that's really essential for this retreat, as it is for any retreat. Allow the Spirit of God to draw you into deeper engagement with the living reality of Christ. That's where the real dynamic of a retreat takes place. At the end of each presentation, I'll suggest some questions and scripture passages for personal reflection. I strongly recommend that you take time to engage in that reflection before you move on to the next conference. In this opening presentation, I'd like to take a long, loving look at the reality of Jesus, who calls us into friendship, the one who invites us into an ever-deepening relationship of friendship with Him. Let's listen for a minute to a passage from the Gospel of John. It comes from the 15th chapter of John, from that section of John's Gospel called the Farewell Discourse. In the narrative of John, the setting for the discourse is Jesus' final meal with His disciples right before His passion. I encourage you to take some time to read and to pray with this gospel passage today. Jesus said, "As the Father loves me, so also I love you. Remain in my love. If you keep my commandments, you will remain in my love, just as I have kept my Father's commandments and remain in His love. I've told you this so that my joy may be in you, and your joy may be complete. This is my commandment, love one another as I love you. No one has greater love than this, to lay down one's life for one's friends. You are my friends if you do what I command you. I no longer call you slaves, because a slave doesn't know what the master is doing. I have called you friends, because I've told you everything I've heard from my Father." Through a rich mosaic of images, the Gospel of John depicts Jesus as the source of life and fruitfulness for all people. You know some of those images in the Gospel: living water, good shepherd, bread of life, light of the world, and many others. This passage that I read for you comes right after Jesus has used another such image, that of the vine. Jesus says, "I am the true vine, and my Father is the vine grower. Remain in me as I remain in you." That image of the vine is also found in the Old Testament to depict the relationship of Israel to the God who had entered into covenant with them. Isaiah chapter 5. It's a symbol that expresses communion. Here it expresses the closeness of communion with Jesus. Jesus is the source of life for those who remain in him.